you went on to write a New York Times best-selling book, Genius Foods. And in the documentary, you start introducing your mother to certain foods that explain that, like certain, while you're living with her, you're researching all this stuff, right? Like maybe this will help. Maybe it's blueberries. Maybe it's this. And the outcome overall was not good. She ended up passing away. There was nothing you could do to save her. But do you think that the diet and the things that you were incorporating into her life did give her more years or more time?
I do think so. I mean, that's an anecdote, so take it with a grain of salt. But one of the things there were a few things that I discovered really early on that were aside from just trying to memorialize and pay tribute to what it was that, my mom was going through, somebody who, and utilizing my skills as a filmmaker, not a medical doctor, not an academic scientist, right? That really were stood as the call to action for me to get this, to do what I could to get this sort of, these insights, this topic out to a larger audience. And one is that, particularly at the time in which I decided to undertake this project, like most people were unaware that diet could affect the brain in any capacity.
And there's still critics,
of course,
that will sit here and say, oh, well, you're not a scientist. You don't know, and that's why you say take it with a grain of salt, but it's your belief. And you wrote a book, Dr. Oz, agrees with you. A lot of people agree with you. There's always online. You can go anywhere and say, oh, I should be eating this. Oh, I shouldn't be eating this. Oh, I should do this. I shouldn't. I don't know what the fuck to do anymore because there's so many opinions on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm now, fully immersed in the nutrition world, and there is a lot of controversy and polarity, as there is with pretty much every topic today. So you have to be kind of, you have to approach anything today knowing that, there are always going to be counter voices and counter opinions to essentially whatever it is that you say, right? I mean, there are people that hate pizza. There are people that hate Disney World. You know what I'm saying? So
how dare them?
How dare they?
I fucking love Disney World.
Yeah. And so, I wasn't like a huge Oppenheimer fan, but like obviously that was an incredible movie,
right?
So it's
I thought it was a really good movie. I didn't think it was mind bending.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, a lot of talking.
Yeah, a lot of talking.
I want to see more explosions.
It was like watching a play.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. We can get into that.
No, but I mean, no hate. Like, obviously, it's a magnificent work, and it's like objectively there are things that are incredible about the film. But everybody's gonna have an opinion today.
Agreed,
and that's fine. That's great. But part of what I think is my mission to do is to help people be able to separate fact from fiction with regard to nutrition, because we're fed a lot of different truths and mistruths and half-truths about what it means to eat healthily today. And I think that my mom was in many ways victim to a lot of that misinformation, particularly because she didn't have access to the internet. So everything that she believed to be true about healthy eating, a healthy lifestyle, she gleaned essentially from magazines and mainstream media and things like that. So yeah, I do, we do have agency when it comes to our brain health, and diet is one part of the puzzle. There's also, myriad lifestyle factors that exercise, sleep, stress mitigation, all that stuff. Most people think of dementia as being a genetic condition or something that's like predetermined by your genes. And that's not true for the vast majority of cases. Only about 1% to 2% of Alzheimer's cases, for example, are attributable to a deterministic gene. The vast majority are sporadic, meaning they're influenced to some degree by the environment. Many people consider it an old person's condition, a natural aspect of aging. Those are all myths.
Yes.
And so, I think one of the things that I achieved with my mom was getting her on an exercise program. And we know that exercise.
I saw that in a documentary, and it was wonderful, and I could see how much she enjoyed it. And it was really nice to see that.
Yeah, exercise is medicine when it comes to the brain. It's that we almost have like a prescriptive level of evidence now. So if you care about your brain and you're not exercising, there's a bit of cognitive dissonance there, and we know now that exercise is crucial. It promotes growth factors in the brain that support the survival of your neurons. It promotes the growth of new neurons, brain cells.
Right.
Lifts your mood. I mean, it's incredible for hormonal health, for, promoting insulin sensitivity, keeping your blood sugar balanced and stable, and reducing high blood pressure. So I did get her on an exercise program, and I think that might have, to some degree, slowed the progression of her illness. We also, we addressed diet in the film because diet is important.
Yeah, what was it that you were giving her? That one thing, what was it called?
Kimchi? Kimchi, yeah. Kimchi's amazing.
Do you still use kimchi?
I use it all I eat fermented foods all the time. Fermented foods are incredible for you. Kimchi is one example of a fermented food. It's a Korean dish. It's rich in probiotics. There are some studies that show that fermented foods are great for reducing inflammation in the body, for supporting diversity of the gut microbiome, which we're starting to see plays a role in systemic health, brain health included.
And it's good.
And it's good. It tastes great. Yeah.
I could see your mom liked it.
Yeah.
You liked it.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, it's spicy. It's tasty. My mom.
You ever have kimchi, Ryan? Okay. He nodded.
It's good stuff. Yeah. It could be spicy, it's not for everybody, but it's definitely good for you.
Are blueberries really good for you?
Blueberries, there is some evidence that blueberries are a brain food. Yeah, the anthocyanins, so the blue pigments in blueberries, we have seen actually accumulates in the memory center of the brain, where they can help to reduce oxidative stress. Some studies show that people who regularly eat blueberries, like a serving or two a week, have brains that are about 2 to 2.5 years younger.
What about, they say, a cup of blueberries a day?
Yeah, I don't think you need to eat a cup a day. Blueberries are also expensive, so they're cost prohibitive to many people, but they are very good for you. They're a low sugar fruit. And those anthocyanins, those blue pigments in general. So this is another, I think, one of the mechanisms underlying that adage to eat the rainbow. Plant pigments are really good for the brain. So carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin, we know that these are really beneficial to eye health, so they can help prevent age-related macular degeneration. But we are now starting to understand that the eyes are not just an extension of the brain. Your eyes are part of the brain, and these same compounds actually accumulate in the brain, where they seem to promote cognitive health. So dark leafy greens, great example of a potent source of these carotenoid compounds.
And you talk about all this in Genius Foods, your book.
Yeah, I talk about all this in Genius Foods is like a nutritional care manual to the brain.